Okay. Describe a time when you encountered an unhappy customer. How did you resolve the situation?
Um, so working in customer service, there's always lots of unhappy customers. This past weekend, we had a printer go down, and a lot of the um, drinks that we were making for people inside the cafe were pushed back. So we had a lot of drinks queued to make, but we didn't have stickers for them. So we had a lot of unhappy customers that were complaining about how long it was taking. And me, as the shift supervisor the on the scene, I activated some recovery cards and personally took over making all of the drinks that were needed to make because I was going to be faster than probably the other barista that was working. And I think I was able to resolve that situation effectively by apologizing, explaining to each and every customer what happened, and making sure that they had a good experience and also were able to get another drink later for free.
Awesome. Can you tell me about a time you needed to learn a new skill in a short period of time? How did you manage learning the skill, and what sources did you use to make sure you accomplished this in the allotted time?
So, being that I work at Starbucks, we have a lot of new drinks that are released quarterly, or even monthly sometimes. And I had left for a while after I had my daughter, and I came back, and there were so many drinks because I had been gone for so long that I had to learn how to make them because in order to make drinks, you have to know how the whole menu. So I took a whole shift that I was working, and I just trained under one of the people that was working bar. I learned each and every drink, and along the way, I asked as many questions as I could. And still to this day, I ask questions if I'm unsure about something. I always make sure and ask a question to make sure that I know for sure that the drink is being made correctly, or I can always reference our drink, um, what are they called? Drink ingredient cards or the cards on the computer.
Good. How do you best motivate your team?
So whenever I take over my shift from, say, the opener or whenever I'm coming in to close, I always kind of get everybody in a group and tell them, hey, like, this is the game plan for tonight. This is what's going on in town. So we may be a little bit busy at this time or this time, and make sure that everybody is engaged and put people in the spots where they think that they excel the best. And if we have some downtime, I ask people if they would like to start learning some new things. And it
Mhm.
always makes people feel a little bit more empowered. And I feel like empowered people definitely are more motivated to work harder.
That is awesome. Tell me about a time when you were held responsible for the store and you were shorthanded.
Okay, well, that hits very close to home. On Sunday, we actually were very, very, very busy. And I had one girl quit on Saturday, and I had another girl that called. Well, she was actually a no call, no show. So, besides me, there was only three other people working, and we had a line wrapped around the entire building, and there was a full lobby of people. And in order to accomplish this, I said we just put one person on drive through, one person on front. They took orders, and me and the other barista, we took over bar and knocked out those drinks, made sure everybody was happy, and made sure that every guest connection was perfect.
Mm. Okay. What would you do if you had an employee who refused to follow a new corporate policy?
Well, this happens all the time. Recently, we had a dress code change, and being out of dress code is definitely a reason to not to I would say discipline someone, but I always tell them, hey, just don't forget, like you're not allowed to wear that color, or you're not allowed to wear that style of shirt, or say it's their jeans. And I let them know, hey, okay, so this is your one time, and if it happens again, I always go up to my store manager and let him know that it's been a reoccurring thing, and just make sure that they know that they are not allowed to wear the said clothing, or that they have something else in their car to wear, because that is Starbucks standard.
Nice. Describe a time when you have run out of the most common product in the middle of rush. How did you handle this? And how do you make sure each and every customer left happy?
All right, so this is a difficult one. Whenever everybody wants their hot white mocha, and we run out of white mocha, we definitely, we always try to find the closest thing to the beverage that they're asking for, essentially, whether it be a tea that they're wanting, or white mocha, or even, I don't know, uh, the pink drink. We find the closest thing to that individual person's drink, and if we're out of what they want, we offer them something different. And if they don't want that, we make sure that they try it before they leave, make sure that they're happy, and make sure that they either get some sort of recovery card for their wait, and or don't charge them for their drink at all.
Good strategies. Describe a time when you knew there was drama at work. How did you handle the situation?
So in any workplace, there is going to be drama, of course, especially working with a bunch of middle-aged people. So as a supervisor, I try to stay out of all of the drama and do not participate in it. But whenever there are things going on and people come to me asking me for advice, or letting me know that there are rumors or other issues going along, I try to address these with the person that came to me, keep it confidential, and let them know, hey, I'm here for you if you need to vent, but this does not need to go any further. This is a place of business. And if y'all want to be in disagreement outside of work, then that is perfectly fine. But while we are at work and wearing our aprons, we will communicate correctly, and we will act accordingly because we are at work.
Good. Okay, so Starbucks is an equal opportunity employer. How have you accommodated a partner who had a learning or physical disability? Sorry.
So I used to work with someone who, he was a really awesome worker, and that he had lost from his elbow down, so he didn't have his left hand, and it's hard to hold, like say hold a cup and pump syrup. So we always made sure that he was on drive-through, or he was on front, so that he was comfortable where he was working. But he was also such a hard worker that he would step in and work with other people in order to help on bar, or we never necessarily accommodate. We build on their strengths that they do have.
That is wonderful. Can you tell me about a time a barista on your shift was not meeting time standards? How did you coach this barista?
So the best way that I found with some of the baristas that I have worked with, one specifically that I currently do work with, she does have trouble communicating with customers and making sure that she gets their drinks right. So in the middle of a rush, and if I can't necessarily get her to, I can't have a one-on-one, I will approach the customer, say I'm making their drink, because that's normally my spot in the morning time whenever we are busy. I will um, I'll call the customer out by name, and I will ask them, hey, you had a venti mocha frappuccino with 2 extra shots. Did you want those blended in, or did you want them poured on top? And it makes sure that they get their drink correct. It makes sure that I have a connection with the customer. And then after the shift, I kind of keep these things in mind because I've said them out loud to myself. And I go forward to coach the barista on saying, hey, these are the questions that you need to ask, kind of cut down on the small talk. The people are here to have a conversation with you, but they are not here to learn your life, and they want their coffee. That's the reason they came in. So we have this conversation on a regular basis. It is getting better. And I always start, hey, you're doing awesome at your job, but these are just a couple of the things that I noticed today that we could improve on.
Great. Can you tell me about a time you implemented or enhanced a procedure at work, and what impact did it have?
So I have transferred recently to a new Starbucks, and I started training partners. And when I came in, I noticed that a lot of the partners were not trained really fully. And Starbucks gives you all of the information that you need to train someone successfully. So ultimately, I used every bit of Starbucks information that was given and that wasn't being utilized, and I made pamphlets and booklets within the binders. I did this all on my own and made sure that everyone was getting a good training process, and that it was the same throughout, regardless of who was training and who was on the shift, because everyone had that pamphlet with their booklet with how Starbucks wanted them to do the training, and it had their checklist, and they could just go day by day by day and check off, and it made for a lot smoother training process.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.